be qualifying for Iceland at the end of the day. First up, we have Fnatic versus Meg, followed by FPX versus Liquid. Now, two of those teams have been to Iceland before, and looking at that second matchup against Liquid, they definitely want to make it again this time, but FPX is going to be their first real opportunity.
I mean, I don't mean this as a pun. It is literally just going to come out this way. The dark horse for Team Liquid will be FPX. It's not going to be themselves. They're not going to be riding in as, you know, the Dark Knights. I truly think a lot of the criticism we've given Team Liquid over this stage has been their inability to look consistent. They want to change things up. You keep calling it reinventing the wheel. That's dangerous because they're not able to keep up with themselves sometimes, and it leaves a lot of confusion. FPX is a team that runs so many competitions. They themselves could be the ones that come in and go, we have something else for you. You're not prepared, and you yourself are still trying to keep up with yourself, let alone us. That could play really well for FPX.
I mean, Team Liquid is a team that typically should focus on themselves and just not like counter-strateging the opponents, because they try to do different strategies, they try to do different agents on almost every single player all the time, right? So we see a lot of swaps in that regard, and it's hard to prepare against FPX because they have a substitute player, and they also didn't play with him on 2 maps. Like, how do you prepare against that?
Yeah, I can't wait to find out how both of these teams are going to do a little bit later. But first, let's talk about the first matchup of the day, Fnatic versus Meg. Now, unfinished business seems to be the theme of today, and no other team right here other than Fnatic have more unfinished business, especially when it comes to Reykjavik, because as we said in the top of the show, they went all the way there to the grand finals, losing out to Sentinels, getting beat 3-0. But they're in a position now, Lothar, coming into this after a 5-0 season. So do you feel like if they are able to make it to Reykjavik again, they will be able to lift that trophy?
I think for Fnatic, this is the moment to shine. Not only they're on a, let's say, a streak and a good personal performance as well. Everyone is just popping off. But also, this is the new patch. Fnatic, in my eyes, is the most strategic team in the world, alongside Vision Strikers, although Vision Strikers and Champions had a big flop. But that, for me, this is the moment for Fnatic. This is the moment where I expect them to do something either completely out in the blue and surprise everyone, or just be very consistent on the fundamental basis.
I want to see them do what they know, at least for now. Get yourself to Iceland and make sure that everything looks pretty. And as you said, if they're a team that are as good as we know them to be, in fact, I wanted to bring up a quick clip to show you that kind of innovation that we've been representing and referencing when we talk about a team like Fnatic. In that, when we saw them on Icebox, Yinsu gave me a little bit of insight that this was just born in the round. They spoke about this was a counter in the round. They knew a kitchen push was coming. And of course, why don't you just slow warm for me? Why don't you let me pop my nano swarms up? Let me see what happens as a result. There goes Boaster, big brains Boaster. They come on in and oh my god, did they expect to be cooked up in that kitchen? It's an absolute massacre in the kitchen, and the chef, well, he's cooking souffle because they got absolutely decimated. I like that on the fly thinking, and the fact that they came up with this inside of the game, this was not a pre-planned strategy, goes to show that with the new meta that is coming in, and adding both pre-planned and set plays, counter-strategy adapting throughout the range will be so intense that teams are just going to have to do what they can. You can't predict it, you can't counter for it. You know, you've done that, they'll come up with something else, I'm sure, especially with the new meta. I really want to put that double down that this is the most strategic team, and it's damn fun to watch.
It's fun to watch, and also very fitting because I'm sure that there wasn't Team Fnatic and coaching. So, but I actually spoke with Magnum after this, because I was certain this is rehearsed.
Yeah.
Because one thing that made me feel rehearsed is because one of the vision ones was being put in a window, so it was not on the ground where it can be easily spotted. And then, I'm not sure he was trolling me or not. He actually said that that wasn't rehearsed.
Yeah, no, he wasn't trolling. Yeah.
What the hell? It's like, how can you come up with this, like, nanoswarm there, pick it up, like, quickly and just invent that on the spot, right? But in general, those Killjoy, like, combos and Viper combos that they do it on many maps. One of my favorite is on Split, when they do a ultimate on mid and get a alarm bot and 2 nanoswarms into vents area, which is then covering the entire mid with just one player. It's very efficient, and that's something that I love Fnatic for.
Do you think that's their biggest win condition, Lothar? Because obviously on paper, it's Durka, right? Everyone's like, Durka has a good game, they win, but these adaptations and these things that other teams simply cannot prepare for, in your opinion, do you think that's what's going to get them over the line?
Well, they could prepare for, right? But for now, I don't see them prepare for. And that's why Fnatic is so efficient at those runs. And I feel like that's the win condition alongside the Frank Power. But it's something that they will never lose is the strategic, because strategic aspect, because popping off can happen or not.
Yeah, I mean, we've had a lot of questions and theories about what teams are going to run in this new patch. So let's hear from Fnatic's head coach Mini on what they're going to be doing now. I'm now joined
Satchel
by
out.
Mini, the
Satchel out.
Hi, Mini, welcome back to the show.
Satchel out.
First of all,
Satchel out.
congratulations on making it to playoffs as the only
Satchel out.
managed to go
Satchel out.
in regular season. What do you think was the main reason that you guys were able to achieve such a flawless result to get here?
I don't know. We're just good, I guess. I don't think we're focusing on the 5-0 right now. Like, the 5-0 was irrelevant. Like, all that matters is today and qualifying for Iceland. So we've been on a good hot streak, but it doesn't matter if we lose today, so, or, you know, get knocked out. So, you know, we're not focusing on that today.
I mean, being at the playoffs here also means you have to play on a new patch. In the past, you guys, through kind of big brainers and sophistication of your team comms, has managed to kind of define the meta at certain points of the game. Do you think that you're going to be the ones that kind of pave the way again today?
Finding the meta in 5 games might be difficult, but, you know, I think we've kind of taken the strategy of being realistic about what we can achieve in 5 games. And if we qualify for Iceland, that's when we will kind of define it.
Let's talk about that preparation time. As you said, you haven't had that much time even to prep for the new patch. So do you think that's been, how much of a hindrance has that been for you guys to, I guess, impede you from executing all of the ideas that you want to do?
I mean, like, we've had experience in the past, so we know that, like, any team that wants to change a lot of stuff to what we think is optimal, and we do that today. So we're gonna just focus on the game today. You know, it's a big game. Like, the patch doesn't really mean as much as the fact that this is a big game. So like, we're gonna focus on the game today. Like, we've watched Gambit grow the past year and a half, and like grow another year and a half, and I think that, like, we're looking at, like, probably the best teams in the world playing a game. Like, this is about, like, the 2 best teams with the best players in the world, like, all the best ideas with, you know, any, like, legendary. Like, this is, like, this game, maybe the game of the year, you know, like, this is a game, you know?
I could not actually agree with you more there. And lastly, before I let you go, like you address, this is a huge matchup. You've been here before. Do you think your chances, I guess, is history going to repeat itself today? Are your chances just as high as the last time you beat this team to make it to Iceland?
I would like to think so. But I think we have to be realistic. This is a Gambit that look a lot stronger than they did about a year ago when we played them. Like, back then, anti-stratting them was easy peasy, but nowadays, like, they've actually got a lot more angles to kind of approach the game with. Their players have improved a lot. They've had that kind of time together. They, you know, like I said, this is like the 2 best teams in the world in my opinion. So it's not going to be as easy as what it was last year, but hopefully we'll come out with a win.
Thank you very much for joining me, Mini. I look forward to seeing you guys play.
Thank you.
Who cares about the patch? I'm sure Lothar, you absolutely love hearing that, but I do feel like what Mini was saying is that they're not kind of in a rush to change things because you don't need to fix what's not broken here, and it feels like they might be one of the only teams with that mindset and strategy coming into this. So what do you make of that?
So I'm not mad, I'm just disappointed, you know, it's just, but that's something that I talked yesterday about, and we have seen that in NA as well. If a team has a lot of depth in their playbook, and they have a lot of exercises like being done in the past, and they just have it all orchestrated, it doesn't make much sense to change what they have already exercised and like just, you know, being used to, unless the new patch brings something so powerful, it just throws all of your strategies out of the window. So my
watching TT currently. Gambit versus Fnatic, I think.
quite a lot. You don't go flawless throughout a groups unless you have such a well-rounded roster. I mean, I was looking at the fact that we had, you know, their duelist.
Match found.
So much space. One of the top-rated players in the entire group. Mystic, top 3 rated in KD. Boaster, number 1 rated as the clutch master of all EMEA groups. This is different players on the entirety of the roster. And if you don't mind, let's bring up a little bit of a Mystic sort of graphic here to highlight what we mean when we talk about Mystic being one of those foundationally strong support players that Fnatic needs. And he is completely flawless.
I'll fight anybody.
On his 1v1
I'll fight everybody.
potential. That is throughout this group's thus far, and of course we haven't been able to calculate today, so we'll see if he adds to that. But he is able to do everything, and he's now in a position, coming into Iceland should they make it, to take on a role in the new meta that will be even more important.
For me, Mystic is a player that evolved the most while being in Fnatic, because when I was watching the VODs from the last year, there was always a moment where Mystic was a little bit detached from the rest of the team. He wasn't there for trades. He was a little bit like trailing behind in the decision making, and that's something that I don't see anymore from him.
It'd be interesting to see if he is the person that moves on to something else, because as we know, the controllers have been hit quite hard in this new patch. But Lothar, if he does move on to something else, he didn't come into this game as a smoker controller player. We haven't really seen him play Brimstone. Boaster was always on the Brimstone, or Omen. So how big of a task will it be for him?
I mean, that also depends what is going to happen with Brave. We didn't see him on every single map as well, right? There's a lot of moving parts that are interconnected, and I feel like for Mystic, he's playing just well on every single character. It doesn't matter much.
Yeah, well, we talk about unfinished business, but I think we have to remember that Mech also had a chance to go to Iceland back in 2021, and the only reason they couldn't was because of Fnatic, and we heard from
Bonjour, Yoru. Your sunny demeanor is blinding as always.
It's a best.
Time to jump.
Alright, hey. It's the most A thing I've ever seen.
Enemy spotted A. Enough. Hawk out.
Funny.
Spike planted.
Obstacle removed. There.
What was it coming? Pretty sure.
Last player standing. One enemy remaining.
Oh no! What the? No, bro!
Hawk out. Why did I?
This is bullshit.
Omen, you are a capable fighter.
Time to jump.
It's A again.
Hawk out. Enemy spotted A.
Spike planted. Last player standing. Flawless.
That Reyna won't touch a soul. I'll make sure. Cutting through. Here.
Oh dear.
Time to hunt.
It's B. Going up B. Flashing.
Portal closed.
One enemy
One
remaining.
down.
Spike down mid.
Cutting through.
Last seen caves. I don't know where he is now.
Here.
99 window. He's window.
30 seconds left.
Time is for us. Portal closed.
Now they are nervous.
Sure, I'm gonna play like right here
Here.
with Judge.
Stole my
So if
TV,
they
yeah.
come out.
Over the flash for you?
Oh no, I'll
Time to
probably
jump.
might stay in that corner. I kill my dog first, but I'm gonna stay in that corner. Okay.
Got him. Reloading.
Alright, so Race is at 120. He's stuck in a corner. Oh.
Reloading.
Spike planted.
Multiple enemies A.
Last player standing.
That was my fault. Took a dumb peek.
These new friends
Don't
of
worry.
ours are not too
I got
friendly.
naded out of my position.
Hit them when they're not looking. Cutting
Race is gonna
through.
go mid this round.
B. Right ball B.
Decoy. Fake teleport.
Letting B.
Spike planted.
They just default.
Enemy B.
Stage
Time to jump.
145. Stage is 145 towards
Last player standing.
These parasites aren't going to take one step past this place.
Reloading.
Cutting through.
Time to hunt.
They are so dead.
Welcome to my world.
Enemy spotted A.
Spike planted.
Enemy A. Beautiful.
Last player standing. One enemy remaining.
Nowhere to run!
Oh, man.
Their backs will be towards at least one of us.
Yo, you wanna push it together? I can flash.
Find the weak point and break it.
Flash like so.
Here. Hawk out.
Okay, they're in hollows.
Spike planted. One enemy remaining.
Throwing charge. Cover going out.
Last player standing.
If you're not doing well, keep trying. We must keep up appearances.
Time to jump.
Time to hunt. Scout destroyed.
It's okay.
Hawk out. Blinded.
Fake teleport. Cutting through.
Rotating.
One enemy remaining. Spike down, attacker spawn.
And we're clear. I feel the strain. Blind out.
I did so much damage.
Jump them. Cutting through. Fake teleport.
One.
One dead. Enemy spotted mid. Reloading.
So was me.
Are they committing?
No.
I'm staying on A.
You will not kill my allies!
The hunt begins.
Spike down mid.
Shutting them down.
Bro, the
There's a crash.
fucking timing, man.
No, bro.
Timing, dog. Man, what the fuck?
Piss off!
Where's my aim right
One enemy remaining.
See? Not that scary.
Please do not mistake my smile. I take this all very seriously.
Focus up.
Time to jump.
They're committing you.
Spike planted.
Heal up, squad.
I'm bombing up, bro.
Welcome to my world. Hawk out. Blinded.
One enemy remaining. Last player standing.
Hawk out. Why did I sign up for this shit? We know what we're doing. Trust each other and we'll be fine.
I need this. Thank you.
Yo.
Time to jump.
It's A.
Nowhere to run! I'll handle this. Here. I'm back. Portal closed.
Spike planted.
Deep.
70.
They're in pieces. No chance.
Last player standing. Last round before the switch.
Load up.
This is my fault. One back game, sorry.
No noise on A.
They're gonna get B soon.
Cutting through.
Spike planted.
One close.
Fake teleport.
Enemy B.
Fire in the hole!
There's two there.
I win again.
player standing. One enemy remaining.
No one else could do this?
Switching
Move
sides.
as a unit, okay? Last thing I need is some hero messing things up.
I must endure. There.
Purpose close.
Spike carrier.
Last player standing. Spike down A.
Finished.
Wait until I blind them to strike.
Try not to die.